Hello, I wanted to share something that's really on my heart, and maybe you can identify with it, maybe you have ways to combat it, maybe you have ways to address it, whatever it is. And that is fathers in miscarriage, meaning everybody acknowledges the mother. Everybody says, "How are you doing? I'm so sorry. Are you feeling okay?" And our experience is that it's not like people ignore my husband, yet they're not intentional about it. Like they'll walk into a room, a healthcare professional, for example, we're in the hospital, we've just miscarried, it was very traumatic, a horrible experience, and every single healthcare provider, with the exception of the social worker, who was at the very tail end of our almost 2-day stay, because I guess it was like a day and a half, she was the only one who acknowledged my husband, and it was for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then a document was given to him on grief and fathers, and yet when you read through it, it's just a general grief document. It's not specific to fathers, to males, and so it's almost like it's a one-sided experience, the woman's experience. Well, the reality is that's not true. So, okay, for example, in our first miscarriage, we didn't know that we had a miscarriage. We go to our first appointment. I was almost 12 weeks, and they do the ultrasound, and there's no heartbeat. Baby had stopped growing at about 8.5 weeks. And I remember looking at my husband's face and seeing him trying to process it. And it was almost like I could see him say, okay, I can't deal with processing it myself. I need to focus on Erin. I need to focus on how she's feeling. Of course, I was a mess by that point. I was already bawling, and you know, the emotions and the hormones and everything goes along with it. And yet he was never acknowledged by the physician. We loved our physician, by the way. And yet she wasn't trained, and we found that many healthcare professionals are just not trained to address the couple together. They're not trained to address the mother and the father. And so I didn't notice it the first time around. On our second miscarriage, which happened 6 months after that, a year, 6 months after that, same thing. At that point, I miscarried at home, and so I go to the appointment, and everything was focused on me. No acknowledgement of my husband outside of hi, but it was no acknowledgement of him, his emotions, his feelings. And then now we get to our third miscarriage after the birth of our son in between, which we are so grateful for. And it's this huge traumatic event, and he's been through it the whole time. You could see visibly struggling with emotions. He's fighting tears. He's angry. He's upset. I mean, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about what I saw on his face, and no one acknowledged it. And even afterwards, all of the wonderful things that the hospital provided for tools, resources, groups that you can go to, that you can work through this horrible event with others who have had the same experience, so you can create a community. It's all focused on the mother. And it really is upsetting to me, not only to watch my husband go through this and know that he doesn't have the support system that I have, that I've been so grateful for, even though it's a horrible event, and regardless of how much support you have, you still, it's difficult, it's heavy, it's a level of loneliness and emptiness that even if you have a community, you have to work through it yourself. But the community is an amazing gift that gives you tools to work through it yourself. And he didn't have that. I mean, even to all of our success with doctor's appointments, I'm struggling with depression, and yet as he goes with me to those appointments, no acknowledgement of him. And you can imagine, I can imagine, as I talk to him through it, as I recognize that he wasn't getting the support, I'm trying to reach out to him, understanding that I really don't know what I'm doing, yet I'm trying. And he's sharing with me how he feels neglected, he feels left out, and he doesn't feel unloved. He knows people love him and care about him, and yet there's not an acknowledgement, it seems, that males are allowed to have a span of emotion. I mean, that's typical in society. You know, there's certain manly traits, there's certain manly emotions, anger being one of them, frustration or strength, or, you know, there's certain manly emotions that are approved for men, but the reality is men are human just like females, and there's different emotions that men feel because of different roles that they're placed in. So for example, my husband is very much the caretaker. He very much wants to take care of me, of our son, and he's very protective of me. So when I'm going through this horrible event, he wants to protect me. And so he's focused on me, and yet he has these emotions too. But society says, no, you should not have to work through those. Those are not emotions that are appropriate for you. You just need to focus on being the caretaker and the husband and fixing things. And I know that's a general statement. I want to be very clear. I'm very familiar with that. And that's really what he felt. So I don't know how to be a voice for men who go through miscarriages with their wives, with their partners. I don't know how to do it, and yet I'm hoping that by putting it out there, that it could be known, what could be done, what tools can be provided for men as well, what community can be provided for men that gives them the support that they desperately need as human beings and as fathers and as men, and maybe as husbands that haven't experienced fatherhood. Whatever the case is, it hurts my heart. And I wanted to share that with you. If you have thoughts or comments about how we can support husbands and men through miscarriage, I welcome them. And if you as a man have gone through a miscarriage experience, I am so sorry. And I pray that we have a support in the future for any other male that goes through, because there are systems put in place for females, even though they're not as ubiquitous as perhaps they could be. They exist. I don't know of any formal support for men. And even if you search YouTube, I just did a YouTube search for miscarriage and fathers and miscarriage and dads, and there's a few videos, but I can count them on one, maybe two hands. That is not a support group. I got through our first 2 miscarriages with my support group in YouTube, watching how others went through it. And I don't see that tool on YouTube. And of course, there needs to be other groups that were available to me, that were given to me as a mother who lost a child. But the father it's kind of known that the father's invited, but it's not formally done that way. It's not an introduction to say, this is also for you. It's not, if you want to tag along with your wife, you're welcome to do that. That's not the same thing. And so I would like to really put it out there that we need to support men as they go through these horrific and traumatic experiences. And I welcome thoughts on how to do that. Blessings to you.